everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's in the Tuber. Welcome back. If this is your final Walker Season 4 episode review and also final Walker episode review in general, I'm going to let you guys know from the start, this is the second time I have to record this review because for some reason my microphone literally cut out as soon as we started the opening. So the entire review was lost, and I was not emotional per se, but like that was my raw emotions coming out. Now I'm kind of gone. That sucks. It's like technical issues always. They always get me. They always do. But yeah, here we are. This is it. The last time we will ever be. Well, for me, the second last time I'm talking about Walker. The last episode. This is it. This is the last one. Yeah, I still feel bad about it. I really do. It just sucks. It really does suck. The fact that we will not get to see this family anymore together in new episodes week to week every single year. Those days are now sadly over. I feel like for the finale, they did the absolute best they could, knowing that this was a last minute decision. They had a feeling, but at the same time, they managed to make the season have a sense of fidelity and managed to tell this episode in a very conclusive way. Still kind of open to like what things could be in the future, but at the same time, like if we never see these characters again, then the way they ended is like, okay, you know what? I still think that's pretty good enough for me. Again, I'm just gonna say it again. It fucking sucks that we are in this position, that they don't get the proper ending I think they deserve, that they have to now be in this position where they are having to write this as the end, all because of just CW being cheap. Again, it's not the first time we've seen this before where like ratings are great. It's just money. It's just we can't, like, again, I know this is all a business. Making TV shows is a business, but I'm just like, come on. Just come on. Your number one performer, really? Anywho, and they weren't even that expensive. They were cheap. They didn't have CG, nothing. Like, and then Texas gave them a break on taxes. Like, come on. Like, that was so fucking dumb. It really is. Yeah, I thought this was, again, like, this was a great episode. I really, really did. I think everyone did their best performances for the last time. Everyone brought their A game, especially Jared, wrapping it all up, like bringing this entire ship to a close. And it just makes me want more. It just makes me, I don't accept this as the goodbye, but it is. But at the same time, it's just like, they still did the best. They did the absolute best in this episode. And I'll commend them for that. So that being said, let's go for the Butcher recap and talk about the final episode of Walker. So we begin bright and early in the morning. Cordell is making some breakfast, a very nice, this scrumptious plate of breakfast for the graduating boy. It's his last day of senior year, August. Finally done with school, or high school forever. Jerry gives Cordell a holler to let him know that even though Cordell does want to come over, see how Cassie's doing, give her some support, it's not the right time to do so. Cassie's still kind of reeling in from the grief of the loss, that it would not be smart for him to try to include himself in this moment, especially that they still have some things to kind of talk through. So it would be best if he just takes a step back, just doesn't intervene. They'll communicate when they can communicate. And also Cordell just mentioned, like, don't worry, like, about everything with us. Like, things are going to be different. They will be different. Do not worry. We will not have another situation like we just did again. Which again, Cassie's a bit hesitant about that, just a tad bit. I want to say we cut over to August comes downstairs, is thankful for the breakfast, but like again, Cordell is bringing up like this celebration aspect of things, and August kind of reminds me like, yeah, but I kind of did some of the celebrating already, which I'm like, and you weren't there, and I'm like, August, my dude, your father nearly died, again. Like, I think you could take the sass down a little bit, just a tiny bit. I mean, I totally understand where he's coming from. I'm just like, dude, like, this is not the time and place for that. It's not the time and place. Cordell is not beaten down by it. He's gonna keep going, kind of like still trying to be there. Meanwhile, back at Jerry's residence, Cassie has awakened from a night in, and she feels a little bit better, but it's not quite the full remedy she needs right now. But Jerry called in some backup. For James's wife showed up, brought some movies, brought some just to have some energy together, just to like not be alone during this time, and it's very sweet, very much as like supporting each other. Back at the Walker Ranch, Monahan is teaching Marlene how to use the grill as a potential tool for her to use for her wedding planning business. Liam's just watching all this and just like being like kind of the unofficial mediator during all this, while Monahan just kind of he wants to teach her, but at the same time she's like, nah, this is my grill. Which I was like, dude, like, isn't the whole point for you to like teach her? Like, come on, come on. I apologize. I'm looking back and forth. Like I'm just checking the microphone because like I do not have the energy to record this a third time. I do apologize for that. Cordell visits Stella at the dorm while she's finishing up her assignments for her final days for the semester. And Cordell's he's just trying now. He's trying to be there for the kids more often now that he kind of had to take a step back and everything. And Stella's like not to put too much pressure on Cordell. He's been through a lot with everything, and it's fine if he feels that way, and also just like don't get discouraged about August's attitude. He rather for him to be there than to not. It's a better outcome what Cordell's trying to do at the moment. Stella also lets him know that she found the letters that he wrote while he was Duke back from before season 1, and she didn't open them, but that she knows like yeah she was aware of what Cordell tried to do, but it was better that these letters weren't meant to be read like this, that they came from a different place at a different time. So she gave them back to Cordell, just like you can do whatever you want with these letters, but just to be warned, we did not read them. We cut over back to the Walker Ranch where Cordell eats some of Marlene's goodies, her new grilled meat. It's pretty yummy. While she's starting to prepare the house for the graduation party, Cordell tries to help out, but Marlene tells her like, "Don't worry about it. We got this. You rest up. You rest up. Don't worry about it. This is you don't have to get yourself busy with this. We understand where you've been through, and it doesn't, Cordell just like, he's finally here, but he doesn't feel like he's really helping, so to speak. Meanwhile, Trey is about to get ready for his interview for lieutenant, which is what Cassie should do when Cassie needs a little pick-me-up from her brother, making some good old-fashioned omelets, trying to get her back in like the spirit of thing, trying to get her ready for the interview as well. Get a little montage of them like reading off questions, then that transitions over to the real interview, where again both of them have two different attitudes during all this. Cassie's more direct, more straightforward, a little bit more lower in terms of her tone, comparing to Trey, who's a little bit more happy, a little bit more go-getter, a little more eager. So we get two different comparisons on this front. They meet up after their interviews. They give each other some support, but obviously it's a competition, so they got to kind of keep things a little bit civil and a little bit more neutral to an extent. James shows up for a little bit, even though they're just assuming that, oh, you're here to deliver the news, and James is like, oh, no, we just started deliberating. Like, don't, you ain't gonna hear a result for a little bit, so you can go home, go do what you gotta do. Like, it's fine. Let us do what we gotta do here. So they decide to go out to get some grub to pass by the time. Cordell is back at the household with the family, just getting them all emptying out some stuff for the party. Cordell also uses this opportunity to kind of like interject himself, trying to say like, hey, I'm finally here, guys. I'm actually helping. And I'm like, dude, okay, we get it. Slow your roll. Slow your roll over there, buddy. But he does bring up the fact he did find some letters in the den. Apparently, as a backup, August did apply to some colleges, and he got accepted to all of them, which is great news. He hasn't quite chosen what school he wants to go to yet, but he has a lot of options to choose from, which is always great. From a different perspective of things. And also, this is the perfect time period for Cordell to pitch to Stella and August if they want to do a family vacation this summer. Natural road trip, like actually doing it. And, they're like, okay, we don't have to do it. We don't want to stress you out. And and Cordell's like, no, I want to do this. I want to have this moment with y'all, and I think we should do it. And they're like, okay, let's do it. And they agree to bring Jerry along too, for the ride, which is another great sign of news. I want to say, I'm trying to remember if there's any other moments before we cut to the next day, because I kind of jump a little bit throughout the place. I was starting to feel a yawn. I really held that back in as best I can. Now I think we do cut to the next day where Cassie is looking at some memorabilia at the station, and James delivers her the news that she was selected to be the brand new lieutenant for the department. It's obviously she's still feeling down by the whole Luna thing, but this is still a great achievement for her to have. Meanwhile, James also delivers the news to Trey himself that it's not because he wasn't a good candidate, it's just that there was something that Cassie had that, the experience and just like, that she's able to kind of keep herself going even during the worst of days, which is kind of what a leader needs to do, to kind of keep going during those days. And Trey understands, like, I don't view this as like a failure on my part. I understand I still have way more to learn, way more to do, and the promotion will come someday. It's just not going to be today. So they're at least agreeing on that for the both of them. There's also was a throwaway line that the Daversons are subletting their house to a new renter, so they're about to have new neighbors soon. Who that person is, who really knows? I don't really. We didn't really get too much detail into that front. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else before we get to the actual party of it. I don't think so. I think we just cut straight to that night for the party. Everyone's there. The Walker family, all their friends and family, August's friends, just celebrating his graduation, which is a little bit weird because didn't they all graduate? So wouldn't this be all their party? Which I'm like, you know what? We don't got time to spend with like randos. So I'm like, that's totally fine. August was like the running high fiving while he's running, which I thought that was pretty cool. Like actually have like a bit of a good runway for that. So they all partied. Trey's adding DJing to his resume, which I'm just like, yeah, this dude, like, okay, I ain't lieutenant, I'm about to be a DJ up in this party. Everyone's just having a good time. Everyone's just having fun. Cordell stops the music for a little bit to have a little bit of a speech moment, just to like, congratulate August on his achievement, and also trying to bring him back to Cordell's point of view from his story perspective, that since the beginning of the year, Cordell had to work through just dealing with the emptiness coming up. That whatever August decides to do after he graduates could lead to Cordell being alone. And he's been wrestling that all year, and finally he's accepting of it, that, this is going to happen, has happened, and now he's going to, wish August luck in whatever future prospect he's going to go to next, and he's going to do great in it. Not the best speech in the world, but I'm just like, it's the usual Cordell thinking process, but you know what, it's still a nice one, to say the least. Bonham and Marlene also congratulate privately to Cordell about, his achievement of somehow making the barn house to a natural home, which is a callback back to season 1. I think that was nice and sweet. It's not quite the way it should be, considering how they've been for this season, but like, it was it's a nice sentiment. It's a nice sentiment that how much has Cordell grown up since we first started the show. It's a very nice sentiment. Where do we go from here? I think everyone starts dissipating. Like the main core people are like kind of going back to the house, kind of like taking a relaxing break. Especially Jerry and the girls, Stella and Sadie, about everything. They're just like making jokes at Sadie's expense about how so similar she is to Hoyt. It's like Hoyt's still here, but she's not. But he's not. So it's like it's funny to see that. Even just how much Jerry actually values Sadie's company. She does extend her an opportunity to like get health insurance, to be closer to the family by maybe potentially getting a job at the sidestep. She can get that arranged, and she's actually thinking about it. She's actually thinking of accepting it. Ben and Liam also have their own accepting news, that Liam noticing Ben is fitting right in with the Walker family, that they should take things to the next level by moving in together. And Ben agrees, even though Liam is trying to be all business wordy about it, and even Ben's just like, I'm trying to get you to say normal words here. I'm just like, that's just funny. That's really, really fun to see. Bonham and Marlene have a moment as well about going back to their retirement, and Marlene does admit that, that she didn't really want to do the wedding planning business, really. She just wanted to have her name on something, and it just kind of felt restricting, that Bonham was trying to like kind of capsize thing before they can really take off. And Bonham's still supportive on that. Like if Marlene does want to go full ahead with it, she can, and he will be there for support. He can return the boat that they bought, and Marlene's like, we don't have to do that, and Bonham's like, okay, but we can use it for the business. We can also use it for our own personal ventures if you want to, and she's on board for that. So, and they have a nice kiss, which we don't get to see much and often from them. So, like, it's very sweet about that. Cordell also pulls aside Jerry to let her know about the vacation idea. She's happy about it, but at the same time, she's like, "Is that really gonna happen? Like, I don't know. Like, you again, like they. Oh yeah, they. I completely forgot there was a scene between Cordell and Jerry earlier where they talk about just what's next for them, and that's where Cordell brings up the dream world, where Jerry was happy with Hoy, with Sadie, that she was like the happiest she could be, and that Cordell wishes that he can be that for her in the real world, that he's going to make all the efforts that he can to make sure he is that person for her. And yeah, so he's very much hopeful for that, and that he's going to do whatever he can to make her happy, to make her feel like this is her family too, and to make her feel involved in things. We cut to the next day where Cassie is now celebrated into becoming the new lieutenant. She's about to get settled into her office where Cordell makes a pop in, and he addresses the elephant in the room. We're like, yeah, Cassie's not his biggest fan right now. Obviously, he caused her. I think one of the biggest stabs possible, and it's not going to be quite easy for them to really move past this. And he also doesn't blame her for not going to forget things anytime soon, but that he's going to make the effort to earn back her trust, earn back her respect, really be friends again. And that's going to take some time. And I think a little bit of help would be a little time away, not seeing each other for a bit could help them out in the long term. Because he wants to hand her over a letter of a leave of absence that he wants to take off for the summer, be with his family, kind of figure things out with them, and then, kind of come back to the force fully re-energized again. And she agrees, she accepts it, and she just says like, yeah, no, you deserve this as well. Obviously, it would be beneficial for us. So we can resume being friends again. But yeah, no, I agree with you. That's gonna take a bit of time. And they leave things in a very mutual, very forgiving tone. But they still have some ways to go through with that front. And I believe that's where we start to wrap things up a little bit. Sadie wishes Stella and August farewell as they're going off on their road trip. While I believe the implication is Sadie's going to be staying around for a little bit. She just seems like she's not ready to pack up and go either. So she'll be staying in Austin for quite a bit. Liam and Ben are about to start looking at apartments. However, Liam gets a call from the governor of Texas about a potential case for him to work on. Not quite solidify what that case is, but it's pretty important, pretty much a big deal. So Liam's going to go off and go do that. Even getting a nice fancy pseudo Secret Service car to kind of drive him to the governor. That's kind of pretty a sweet ride. Bonham and Marlene finally get their boat ride at the river. It's very nice, very sweet, kind of like a really nice, mutual happy ending for them both. Just them sailing off into like the great blue sky. Not like that. Just like it's a very nice settlement for them. It very much is. And Cordell and Jerry are taking the kids off to begin their road trip across America, wherever the heck they're going next. They pass by some moving trucks for their new neighbors. Quite hopeful that we're going to have a totally chillax, non-evil or bad neighbor going forward. And hopefully that's the case. I don't know. Who really knows? So they drive off together as a family. There was a scene where Cordell is looking at the fireplace early before leaving, where he looks at a picture of him, Emily, Jerry, Hoyt, just like one of their last happy moments together as a group before everything happened. I view that as a way of him like looking back on the past, at how far he's come, and now he's ready to kind of like go forward into whatever this new chapter of his life is. And I think that is sweet. Cassie's also prepping her office. She's leaving mementos behind of Luna, just as a reminder of like, her new chapter doesn't mean she has to forget everything from her past, especially Luna. So I feel that that's a very somber way to kind of like, add things to her her ways going forward. Sadly, no updates on James and Trey. They're just like continuing business as usual. Nothing to include them there. And then we get a scene where the new neighbor actually drops by the Walker residence. He tries to meet them, but no one's home, so he leaves behind a basket of handmade soaps, and we just get a shot of his face, and it's just some dude. Apparently, it is a Supernatural alumni. Apparently, he was going to be teed up to be the next villain. I'm just like, okay, I don't know this guy. I mean, I've seen Supernatural, I just don't recognize the dude on top of my head. So, it is what it is, and we just get a panning shot of him going back to his car, going about his day. But that's, again, like, I don't view that as a villainous way. I just view that as more as like I'm just a normal guy. I'm just coming to the neighborhood. Here's a bar of soap. Goodbye. And I'm just like, yeah, that's the end of Walker. That was the final shot of Walker Forever. And again, I do find this is still a great episode. Obviously they were up against a wall here, trying to wrap it all up as a series finale when it should just be a season finale, and I think they did the best they can. I think everyone got on their A game, especially Jared. Like, leading the ship with his moments. Definitely, as much as this wasn't trying to be a true finale, this was very much feeling like a chapter close on Walker's life, and I think Jared sells that pretty well for himself. Same with Cassie. She goes through a lot. There definitely is this is a new Cassie, and I think that would have been an interesting angle to kind of take her next. In her journey, mind you, and very sweet to get some wrap up with the grandparents for the Walker clan. Sadie being more included, Jerry, being like a true anchor for Cordell going forward, leaving Ben finding some happiness. Again, I understand what they were trying to tease, but it just was not meant to be viewable for us as the audience, and it just really sucks. But again, I think all the actors and actresses, like, they really brought their A game. They really brought everything to the table for this last episode, saying goodbye to their characters in one way or another, and they're off to the depths of whatever is next for their lives. And we hope that the Walker family leaves rich, hopefully peaceful lives going forward. But you never know what the case might quite be for that front. So I'm gonna give this episode 2 thumbs up. I loved it. I'm gonna miss them so much. Let me know down below, what did you think of the final episode of Walker? We'd love to hear your thoughts down below as always. But I believe that's going to do it for me today, everyone. This has been What's the Two, reviewing every single episode of Walker ever. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to know what we do normally on What's the Two besides our Walker episode reviews, next week we're doing a Stargirl Season 1 definitive review, so stay tuned for that. The week after that, we will be back with one more Walker installment. We will be reviewing Season 4 in its entirety in a non-spoiler capacity, so if you want to check that out, please go do so. I would love to get some support over there. But if this is the last time for you, then yeah, this is it. This is the end, the very end of the road. There's nothing more after this. I don't know what much to say. It just, I hate saying goodbyes. I really, really do. I'm gonna miss this Walker family. I'm gonna miss this show. I'm gonna miss this little world they cultivated here for the last few years. I'm gonna miss it all. I really, really am. And I hope Jared, everyone on the show, has great careers going forward wherever they go next in their lives. And I wish them nothing but the best. I hope to see them soon in some other project. Thank you so much for everyone who's been watching me from the beginning of our Walker reviews. I love your support every step of the way. I wish there was more for us to do, but there isn't. If you do want to stay around, we do other reviews. We have done plenty of other stuff on the channel, so you can please subscribe for that. But if this is the final farewell, then again, thank you so much for your support. I wouldn't be here without you. Thank you for, the appreciation, for some of the kind words. Very much happy for that. But yeah, no, this has been a joy. It's been a privilege. Thank you so much for watching. So I hope you all lead successful lives, great futures. Maybe we'll see each other on another show review. Who knows? But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. But again, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't yet, like, favorite, share if you want to. Ring that bell and follow us on social media. But until we see each other again, somehow, somewhere in the future, or not, thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe out there. Be good to each other. And as always, forever, peace out.